Russia has agreed to write off part of Cuba's multi-billion-dollar debt that has accumulated through loans during the Soviet era. It's one of several new trade and financial deals signed during the visit of Russia's Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev to Cuba. Our correspondent Michael Voss joins us live from Havana with more. Michael.
The Russian Prime Minister left a short while ago, Mike, and it's been a very productive meeting. Both he and his Minister of Trade and Industry have signed off on a whole range of projects. Cuba and Russia used to be the closest of allies during the Cold War, and it's a relationship which is starting to pick up again. This is billed as a working visit, but Russia's Prime Minister, Dmitry Medvedev, is receiving all the pomp and ceremony of an official state visit. Cuba's President, Raul Castro, joined him on Friday morning at a wreath-laying ceremony at the mausoleum of the internationalist Soviet soldier, a reminder of just how close these two countries had been during the Cold War. They then toured the graves of some of those who died while posted to this Caribbean island. Back in the old Soviet days, the Kremlin was spending billions of dollars bankrolling Cuba, and when it ended abruptly, it's plunged this country into a deep economic crisis. Now, Russia is trying to re-engage in what it sees as a potential emerging economy. It's been a good visit, President Castro said, and he has reason to be pleased. Mr. Medvedev has agreed to write off part of Cuba's $35 billion Soviet-era debt and refinance the remainder. Russia will also lease a fleet of 8 new passenger jets to Cuba at a cost of $650 million. In 2012, trade between the two countries was roughly $200 million, but that looks set to increase. Russia had a big stand at the recent Havana trade fair, and one of its oil companies is currently drilling an exploratory offshore well in Cuban waters. The one big surprise of this visit, though, had nothing to do with trade, but with President Raul Castro hinting that he's considering stepping down. I'm almost 82 years old. I have the right to retire, he said, though he gave no details on when that might be. Those were informal, off-the-cuff remarks said half-jokingly, Mike, but Raul Castro repeated exactly the same thing 2 days in a row, which suggests that some sort of change is afoot.
Michael, that's pretty remarkable, and I imagine it has to be remarkable for the Cuban people themselves. What's the reaction there to this news?
Well, it hasn't been played on television or shown in the press, but word of mouth spreads very quickly in this country. And really, people have been taken by surprise. When pushed on this question, Raul Castro said, listen carefully to the speech he will give on Sunday to the National Assembly. This is the new parliament which will elect the president and senior ministers for their next 5-year term. Now, many people think that what Raul Castro may announce is that this will be his last 5-year term. He has said in the past that he thinks all senior Communist Party and government officials should only serve 2 5-year terms. But it is possible, like the Pope, that he could surprise us and say that he's getting old and just wants to step down.
Michael Voss live for us there in Havana. Thanks so much.